everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Product Pulse. I'm Bronson Dameron, the Director of Content here at Awardco, and today kicks off something we're really excited about. It's kind of what we're calling our Summer of Innovation, where we focus on the true ROI of recognition and what it means for all of our customers. So, as we continue this conversation today, please be sure to ask your questions in the chat. That's very important because we'll see that live and we'll be able to respond to that. But we've got a lot coming your way in the next few months, and today I'm joined by someone who's been leading the charge behind it all, and I'm really excited to be here with him. This is Dillon Winspear, VP of Product here at Awardco. Thanks for being here, Dillon.
Absolutely. Thanks for inviting me. I like the fact that we're doing this live now.
I know.
Here
yeah.
we go.
It's different from the last one, right?
It's absolutely different.
Yeah, we heard the feedback, and we wanted to make sure that it was live and we could get all that going. So.
We're going to have the great questions at the end of it. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of content to cover.
We do. Yeah, so let's get into it. We're calling this update Awardco 2.0. But it's more than just a version number, right? What does it entail? What are some of the feature bundles we're talking about?
Well, let's step back here a second and go, why did we even talk about Awardco 2.0?
Yeah.
You know, Awardco has traditionally been known as a reward and recognition company, but as we've talked more and more with our admins and gotten a better feel for the challenges that they're facing at their company, we've recognized that reward and recognition ultimately lands in a grander engagement strategy play.
Yeah.
And so as Awardco is prepping for that future in which we're helping them solve those large employee engagement problems, we need to put our product in position that could handle what the future of Awardco is going to ultimately become.
It's a lot of work for you, it sounds like.
A lot of work, but ultimately that's where Awardco 2.0 comes in. It's laying the groundwork for the future of this engagement play.
Okay. So what does it entail? Like, what have you been working on as part of Awardco 2.0?
Well, there's 6 major initiatives that we are going to be rolling out throughout this summer, live right now, so our clients and our users can start to benefit from the value that we've been working on over the last year.
Yeah.
But the bulk of that work includes, like I said, 6 major deliverables.
Okay.
The first one is going to be a completely overhauled navigation. And that's pretty core to everything that you do inside of the Awardco product. We'll get into that one here in a bit.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about our feature highlights as well. That'll be the second topic for today.
All right.
But the other 4 highlights that we can still cover the rest of the summer include a brand new, robust profile system, in-platform notifications, a brand new recognition flow that includes some of our AI assistant tools in there as well. What else am I missing? Oh, our adoption dashboards.
There you go.
So ultimately, how are our employees using these new features that we're rolling out? We've given our admins some tools inside of this adoption dashboard to help them see how the product's been picked up.
And profiles?
And profiles, did I hit that one yet?
I can't remember.
Rec flow, profiles, navigation, notifications, adoption dashboard, and feature highlights.
There we
There
go.
it is. That's all 6 for the summer.
Okay. There'll be a test at the end of this, so be sure you're listening for that.
Well, and maybe even a quick teaser. I'm going to slip maybe a 7th in towards the end of the summer, and we might start talking about a mobile app experience as well.
There we go. That's awesome. We're really excited about that around here. So of those 7, what are we going to talk about today?
So let's dive in and talk about the feature highlights and the navigation. And maybe we'll reverse the order, talk about navigation first.
Sounds good, yeah.
Because it has been a huge project that we've been working on for maybe over a year and a half at this point.
That's a year and a half of you and your team's life working on navigation. That's incredible.
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big problem to solve. I mean, we heard a lot of signal. Obviously, I talked about the prepping for the future of what Awardco is doing.
Yeah.
And core to that experience is how does the navigation support that front-end experience? We recognized over the course and the longevity of the Awardco product, we've added quite a bit to the product. But we needed a navigation that could scale for what we were doing next. And so that navigation got completely overhauled.
And it's more user-friendly, easier to find. Can we see some of it? Like,
you want to jump into it?
I would love to see some of it.
Should we do a live demo in the middle of our webinar?
Let's do it, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead then, and I will open up the Awardco product and show you that brand new navigation.
There it is. Look at it.
I imagine some of this is going to be quite shocking because it looks a little bit different than the product used to look.
It looks quite a bit different than what it was.
What do you notice right out of the gate?
That it's on the side, for one.
Navigation.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about that. And then I also noticed that there's points right like very visible, right? But both spend and give.
You're hitting it right on the head.
Okay.
Part of this overhaul was a transition away from that top navigation to the left side. There's a lot of study that we went into to identify the value of moving it to the left navigation. But I think one worth noting is that at the end of the day, I think most of our users right now are working on a desktop. Those widescreen monitors with a navigation that sits at the top, that navigation is taking up a good 200, 250 pixels of your 1080 pixels. That's a good proportion of that pixel. But if we move it over to the left-hand side, on those widescreen monitors, we're giving more real estate back to our users, and especially to our admins, how they can navigate around the product and making that navigation feel more seamless.
Okay. So I remember we were talking about this earlier, that it's also more intuitive as far as the navigation goes. The things you use more often, you'll see more prominently. Is that right?
We went back and we looked at what are the tools that our users are often getting themselves involved in, what are the tools that our admins are getting in, what do our admins need to get into on a weekly basis, what do they need to get into maybe only once or twice throughout their entire tenure.
And therefore see less, right?
Yeah, 100%. So we've overhauled the structure, we've regrouped things, as you pointed out, we've moved to the left side, we've added the points to give and points to spend in that left navigation.
What was the reasoning behind that? Like, I know that beforehand we could see points to spend, but points to give maybe wasn't readily visible. What was the why behind that?
One, customer signal.
Okay.
But I think importantly what is driving that customer signal is that core to a good recognition is also to be able to utilize those budgets that companies are investing a lot of money into. And so if that budget is there, we want to be able to put that budget into the employee's hands. And so showing how many points you have to give and surfacing that more front and center was core to having an overhauled navigation.
I really like that because for me at least, as we've used the new navigation, because internally at Awardco we've turned it on, it reminds me to recognize people, especially on my team. Because I may not think of that as much as I would like to, but when I see, oh, I have all these points to give, I should do that.
Should be able to give them out.
Yeah.
And when is my budget going to recycle? How many points do I have to give before it recycles? I mean, in this instance, it looks like Derek's got 296 points. He should start giving out those points to his team members and his friends because that is going to breed a better, healthier recognition.
That's great. So as far as I understand, this navigation isn't only on the user side, it's also on the admin side, right? You overhauled it there too?
Side, yes.
Can we see that one?
Yes, I can take you to the admin side, and when I do, can I also take you through some of the brandability components of it as well? Because
that's true,
obviously there's a lot of color that's popping here, right? Core to this overhauled navigation experience was to make the product look and feel more like our customers' brands.
And you can do that quickly and simply, right?
We do it quickly and simply in the navigation settings. I think we can jump in.
Let's look at it. Yeah, that'll be great.
So again, from the home page, I'm going to go ahead and click this Enter the Admin button here. And now back to that conversation about regrouping and restructuring things, you will see that our admin settings have also changed.
Okay.
And so in these restructured groupings, we've put the things that you get into most frequently up at the surface level. Dashboards, reports, surveys, those types of things our admins are using on a daily or weekly basis. And we wanted to put that front and center. Whereas some of the things that you don't really utilize quite frequently, like your notification setup or your branding setup.
Something you might do once, maybe twice.
We've kind of put that a little bit lower so it's out of sight, out of mind once it's set.
Okay, cool.
But let's go ahead and get into that branding piece. So right over here in the platform settings, I'm going to click this and I'm going to go right into our branding. Down at the bottom here, you'll see the introduction of a brand color section. Now, 2 buttons right now. But the work that we had to put into making this a real value add for our admins is quite comprehensive. Core to being able to bring brandability into this navigation was to allow our admins to really not have to become full-time designers in this process. We didn't want them to make a dozen small design decisions in order to find value in this. So what we created is actually pretty dang cool. I know I'm not the most tenured person in the tech space, but in my experience, I've actually never seen something like this, and I'm so pleased that we were able to deliver a product like this. What it is allows an admin to come in here and drop one brand color. If all they had is one color that represents their company and it's this blue color here, they just have to put in that one blue color and the system is going to do the rest of those design decisions for them.
It'll automatically put it where it needs to go and it'll make it all...
Not only where it needs to go, but also extrapolate the color palette to support it. Meaning,
incredible.
What are the lighter shades of that color? What are the darker shades of that color? If we wanted to have a blue button, well, you're going to have a blue background, you're going to have blue text. but we need to provide enough contrast to hit accessibility standards.
Yeah.
So we make that blue text a little bit darker, that blue background a little bit lighter to adhere to those accessibility standards. And the admin didn't have to do anything except add one color.
That's incredible. So you're talking about accessibility, which we've wanted to make sure was front and center for us because we understand a lot of our customers really want that. But from what you were telling me, this isn't industry standard, right? This is above and beyond industry standard.
I think it's pretty above and beyond. I'm not going to say that no one has ever built something like this.
Okay, yeah.
I will say this. I've wanted to build something like this for years. I came from a data visualization company.
Yeah.
Something like this would have been so helpful.
Yeah.
We built it here, and we included it in our navigation.
That is really cool.
Can I show you how it works?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and let's just say, again, our system right now, you can see there's a blue background. You can see over here it's giving you a preview of that navigation. It's got that light blue to the dark blue gradient. Even up in the top, we got recognized buttons, and we got text that takes that blue color. If I change this primary color to, I don't know, give me something new.
Let's go hot pink.
Hot pink.
I like
love
it.
Okay, we go hot pink. I'm going to hit save, and instantly the system
Wow.
responds. And you can see that we've got a background color that's a lighter shade. We've got that heavier color being used in these buttons with the white text over it.
Yeah.
We've got a darker pink color to be used on top of white, so you get that contrast and accessibility.
Yeah.
And so just like that, one click and the system's in place.
And if you do want a secondary color, that's what I'm looking up there is the recognize button.
Look at that, 100%.
Okay.
We've got an accent color option as well. So let's say you have two colors,
Yeah.
and you want to have that second color really be your pop. Let's say our second color here is going to be...
What's color theory? What complements hot pink?
I don't know. For some reason, I was going to go lime green.
Let's do it, yeah.
I don't think that's actually complementary, but I think it'll be fun. So let's save lime green,
Okay.
and boom, your recognize button now takes that same shade.
Yeah, and like what you were saying, it's not quite as dark as the actual color because of accessibility,
Because
right?
we want to hit that color contrast, the accessibility in that button. If I go down here and hit save, we could come right back to the admin, or outside of the admin, back to the home page. And there it is.
There it
all
is.
those colors now being represented right on the home page.
So did we just create a new company with new colors and all that stuff?
We sure did. In this demo instance, they're now a hot pink
now
company.
it's hot pink and lime.
Yeah.
That's great. So that makes it really easy and simplified for the admin.
Yeah.
Both the navigation, both the points to see, you can see points to give, points to spend, the brandability, the accessibility. That streamlines a lot of things. What about for the users when they get in? Let's talk about feature highlights. Let's move into that.
Transitioning to feature highlights is
Yeah.
a great idea, because what we've done now is we've structured the system so that it looks like our brand. We're ready to start implementation, let's say, and get all of our employees into the product.
Yeah.
We built a feature that we're calling feature highlights,
Okay.
with the idea to try and bring value to the first-time user in the product.
Yeah.
You've spent so much time investing in your implementation and getting Awardco ready for use at your company.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that your employees are having success on day one? That's where the feature highlights come in. What we built, in short, is a series of guides. It's kind of like your practitioner or your hand holder to take a new user through different elements of the platform.
It's like you're pointing things out, right? Like this, check this out. You can do it like this. And-
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, the admins have put so much effort into making this a valuable experience for the employees. But if we don't get adoption, what are we ultimately going to be doing to drive that culture and engagement? Adoption is a high metric to try and attain or achieve.
Yeah.
And these feature guides are going to do just that.
Okay.
What we're ultimately doing, let me go ahead and switch over here to our spend points landing page. Sorry, Derek, we changed it back from the pink branding to the blue branding. But on our spend points marketplace, you can see a user could be greeted by a guide to take them through. What is this page for? How do you utilize points? What are points?
Yeah.
And these guides will start to showcase the whole value behind what they're looking at.
So does it pop up every time somebody goes in? Because I know that's a little annoying for me sometimes. If I
What? You don't
it's
like that?
I like learning about it, but if it keeps coming at me, I'm like, oh, I already know this. You know, does that happen here as well?
No, I mean,
Okay.
that is universally known that
Sure it
we
is,
don't
yeah.
like pop-ups, we don't like modals. I think the early 2000s internet ruined that for us.
Yeah, for sure.
But what we did with these feature highlights is we've got some smart logic on the backside to recognize, has the user ever visited this page before?
Okay.
If they have not, let's consider showing this to them. But let's say you went and visited 5 different pages that all have guides. We've also set a cap on how many guides you're going to see throughout the course of your onboarding experience.
So you won't get overwhelmed with these guides.
No,
you're like,
let's say you spend an hour on your day one. We don't want to show you 10 different guides. You won't remember anything.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we're going to show you 3 guides at most.
Yeah.
And they'll start to walk you through it. Now, on your second visit, if you go to one of those pages that you haven't seen a guide on yet, it's going to be triggered at that point.
That is really cool.
Pretty smart.
I like that a lot. Yeah. So these guides, what happens when there's something new that comes to the platform? Will that also be implemented automatically and it'll just pop right up?
Yeah, I mean, that's core to this like adoption concept, right? Not only with our core feature and functionality, with like our feed where we have a guide, our homepage has a guide. As we're showing here, our Spend Points Marketplace has a guide. But we can now also implement these guides in any new major deliverable that we're bringing across the finish line.
Yeah, that is excellent. I'm really excited about this. So what do people do if they want to turn some of this on? Like, how do they do that?
Great question. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of this, all of these deliverables that we're going to hit on this summer, they're live right now.
So you could turn them all on, all 6.
All 6 can be turned on right now. So if you're an admin right now listening and you're going, well, let me get a flavor of this, or I want to start checking this out, you can reach out to your CSM, you can reach out to a technical account manager, and they can help you in assisting getting all these features turned on.
And then you'll have these feature guides that will be able to like show you a few new things. Hey, this is new, that's new.
100%.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question for you. What are you most excited about as part of these 2 features? What was something over the last year and a half as you were building it, you're like, that is really cool. I'm really excited to launch that.
I mean, it's hard to not go back and say, well, both of them are super cool.
Yeah.
But I think one of the pieces that I really love was that brandability component that we brought into the navigation. It is a big signal that we get from our admins. We want this to feel more like our brand, our platform. Help us do so. We rolled this out. In fact, let me go ahead and dismiss this feature highlight and I'll show you. We rolled this out. We started getting some beta feedback. We've got more updates coming to the navigation over the course of the summer.
Yeah.
We heard some feedback that not everyone loved the gradient from that lighter color down to the darker color.
Okay.
So we're going to roll out some more feature enhancements that will allow you to make that a static color and maybe have a light mode and a dark mode component of it.
There you go.
Or include this gradient. So more things coming for brandability, but I really love that emphasis that now the Awardco product can feel like your brand, your company.
Yeah, and that will help with so many things. Like it'll look familiar. People want to be in it more.
Yeah.
You'll be able to kind of generate a lot of adoption that way.
It starts to take on kind of like that intranet feeling. Like this is the system that we want our employees to log into on a daily basis. And if Awardco is where you recognize the good or the place where all the positivity lives, sounds like a decent place to house all that.
For real, yeah. I mean, I would love to hang out. I do hang out in a place where we recognize the good all the time. I'm here every day. So that is about those first 2 features. What are you excited about looking into the future over the next few months?
Profiles was a huge component.
Yeah.
We recognize that there's a big future in what we wanted to do with employee connection, helping them feel belonging, but also in maybe getting to more like smart nudges.
Yeah.
Or helping prompt things in a timely manner as they're happening in your day-to-day. So we've overhauled a brand new in-platform notification system.
Yeah.
We've incorporated that into our profiles. Users are going to have their own flexibility with those notification management settings. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's really taken Awardco to the next step.
Yeah.
Profiles, notifications lays a lot of foundation work for what we're doing next, what we're actively working on, which I don't want to spoil quite yet. But those 2 things will be heavily ingrained in the future of Awardco.
Can you give a tiny little hint? I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there anything? Does it make you excited about the future?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Imagine a world where we help also facilitate some of the communication things that happen inside of your company.
Yeah.
We help facilitate maybe things like individual employee connection, maybe support some community-like features. I mentioned the smart nudges through the notification system.
Yeah.
All those things I think are big value adds to our end users.
That's awesome. That's a nice peek into the future. Thank you for that.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. You heard it here first. So, if you are interested in learning more about this, we have another webinar series called How We Built This, where you can attend and get a much deeper dive into how to turn it on and what it looks like and some of the nuances of these products. So just make sure you attend that. You can find that on our website under the events, upcoming events, and you can register for that there. But this Product Pulse is just the first of many this summer where we will be talking about Awardco 2.0 features, and we're going to be really excited about it and show you how it works. So Dillon, any parting thoughts before we sign off?
No, come back. Like I mentioned, I approached Bronson maybe a couple months ago, and I said, actually, can we speed up the cadence we do some of these product pulses?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot coming this summer.
Yep.
And I want to put it in the face of our admins as soon and as early as possible. So more to come. Every 4 weeks, we said.
Every 4 weeks. So there will be another one of these in 4 weeks. So look for us in July, and we'll be there.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. And thank you for attending. We hope you have a great day.
Should we jump into Q&A?
Oh, yeah. Let's do. Hold on a second.
Do we have questions?
No questions yet. Fire them off if you got them. I actually have one.
Yeah.
Okay. So, of the navigation, what was the reasoning behind making sure that the new ones, like the most up to the ones that are at the top, are the ones that people see the most? I know we kind of already touched on that, but I'm curious about that.
And how we structured it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a user research framework that we use to figure out, like, how do we group these things together.
Yeah.
But in short, we kind of combined a qualitative approach to what our admins are doing in their workflows and their processes, combined it with a quantitative approach with what are our analytics showing our users are actually going into in the pages that they're using.
Yeah.
And we use that in what they call a card sort experiment to figure out these things feel similar and these things feel very different. These things get grouped in this type of thing.
Yeah.
And through a series of testing out different groupings and arrangements with our admins, we ultimately landed with where we're currently at now.
That's a really cool peek behind the curtain of how you do the research behind it, right?
100%.
It's not just, I think admins like this one, right? That's awesome. Thank you. So we have a question here from Tammy. You mentioned spend points. We don't currently allow employees to give each other points. How will this show up for our employees? Great question.
So that is one of the customizable components of the navigation. If you're a company that doesn't do any sort of giving of points or spending of points, both of those can be toggled on or off.
Oh, nice. So they don't even have to worry about that. It won't show up like...
In a different instance, both of those spots up at the top of the navigation for points to give, points to spend, we can remove it, just shifts your navigation up to the top.
Nice. That's very simple. I like that a lot. Hopefully that answered your question there, Tammy. Okay, we have another question here from Brittany. At last year's summit, there was a community feature advertised related to helping with our ERGs. Where's that?
That was a little bit of my don't tell everyone.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Brittany, for the question. Ultimately, what we showed last year at the Recognize Summit, we had a handful of items out in the expo floor, and then we labeled 2 of them incubator ideas.
Yeah.
One of them was at a listening sentiment feature that we've kind of internally codenamed Loop.
Yeah.
We are actively still working on it. In fact, we've got 2 full teams running on that project right now.
There you go.
More to come on that, probably come Recognize Summit here in November. And then the second one that Brittany's asking about is with that community feature. I will also say we are actively investigating those features right now.
Yeah.
And we're looking to place it somewhere on the roadmap. I hope to have more updates on it as we get into the second half of this year.
Yeah, so attend the upcoming product pulses. Make sure you're here, Brittany.
Brittany, for what it's worth, I'm super excited about this one too. So I'm on your side. I'm pushing away on this one.
There we go. Okay, we have one more question. Time for one more from Sarah. Are there any change management one-pagers or QRGs that admins can leverage to support their employees through these changes? Yes, good question. I can answer that. So,
yes, please.
Awardco has, we have what we call our Center of Excellence, and that is lots of consultants that work with Awardco to help with this change management, to help with thought leadership, things like that. And we are actively working on that. I actually had a meeting today with our COE, and they are actively working on these one-pagers to help with that change management. So yes, we want to make sure that you are empowered to do this. We don't want to just be like, here you go, and have you try and manage all that change yourself. We want to help with everything we can. So yes, there will be materials coming, and we'll make sure those get into your hands. So thank you. Thank you for that question, Sarah, and Brittany, and everybody who's participated, and Tammy. So Dylan, thanks again for being here. Make sure you attend the next Product Pulse. We'll be having these every 4 weeks, and we hope to see you there. Thanks again. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.